Okay, so good morning, friends. I thank RISPRO India for giving me this opportunity and share my some thoughts on the key successful factors of a chief internal auditor in the today's environment. And we will have a very few slides and we can have a discussion post this. So, friends. When I was preparing for this presentation, and reading through the materials, most of the material which is available on this subject is always talking on the traditional KPIs, which talks about the independence and objectivity and reporting lines of CIA to the audit committee. Then largely they talk about the compliance with the annual audit plan and how we are able to fulfill our audit plan as committed to the audit committee. Then timeliness in release of the reports. Lot of matters on how we communicate with the stakeholders on presentation skills and written reports, and few of them talked about training hours of the team to get ourselves acquainted with latest tools and techniques and the use of automation, and also quality assurance and improvement process which is recommended by IIA. So largely the KPIs which seem to be tracked on these lines, and there are a few others as well. I have listed most commonly noted ones during my study. Uh, these are of course important, and these are the baseline KPIs for any audit department. I'm not saying here that they need not be tracked or reached, but there are many more in the today's era which might be important for all of us to introspect and try to track on ourselves on those lines, which we will discuss, of course. So for any baseline organization or a new internal audit setup, this we need to start with, of course, the baseline KPIs which we are seeing over here. But if I see that today's companies in the large setups and in the uh, upcoming era, in the complex business environments, the dynamic business situations which are ever changing, what KPIs can be required today? Some unconventional thought which is coming out of my experience of right from executing the audits till managing the audits as audit manager, and then of course heading the internal audit throughout my career. What a typical today's CIA is required to be, or how he's cannot be a person sitting in the cabin and reviewing the reports and issuing the reports to the management and leaving it to the management to whether they read or not read, and remain as an auditor. But today's chief internal auditor is need to be very, very interactive, both in terms of with the business people, with the audit committee, and also with the team down the line at all levels of management. The CIA is required to be impactful, because without an impactful outcome or the delivery, the visibility of the team will be questioned. Innovative, we need to be always vigilant to what is happening around us and try to incorporate the best practices, bring in new, of course, the technological things, and also irrespective of technology, what we can do in the same functions, because the functions in the company are not going to change drastically. The procurement will remain procurement, the items they will procure, they will remain the same over the period. So what innovations we bring, which requires an more insightful study of the functions, and try to find out where something can go wrong and try to audit that becomes the innovative things. Impeccable, we need to maintain the all the standards of highest level, and immaculate basically meaning uh, we need to be remain very clean at all times in the organization to be able to comment on any wrongdoings and recommend the corrective actions at all times. So these are the few ones which I have listed, which actually evolves or requires this unconventional thought of some KPIs which can be tracked. So, when I tried to make this new kind of a set of KPIs, I tried to bucket them into these five categories. One is the pertaining to the audit committee, then impacting the executive management, impacting value addition from internal audit, tracking the IA visibility and IA effectiveness, internal audit effectiveness, and all these things we try to do as a self-assessment of our position as CIS. So these are not that somebody needs to come and audit us or then or do the quality assurance program and then only it will come to know. But on a daily basis, this can be tracked, and we ourselves can assess our position in the organization in our capacity as the chief internal auditor. So if I go to the audit committee perspective, some of the KPIs which came to my mind are the sufficiency of time allotted to the CIA in the audit committee, and a priority which is given to present the IA findings. But so this becomes very important that we ourselves can assess that how much time we get to present our findings. Is it a very last point of agenda where people are tired of seeing the financials and discussions on it, and then as a matter of process, the observations are tabled and kind of discussed, or they are like discussed at least around 30-40 minutes of time, which is being given to the internal auditor to present his findings in detail, take his views on the overall control perspectives, and subsequently they are getting discussed. Then other parameter is interaction with the audit committee chairman, who generally is the reporting or to whom the CIA now reports to for being remaining independent. So how much time AC chairman, audit committee chairman, is desiring to spend with the chief internal auditor other than the audit committee meetings? So is there any regular interaction where he is seeking opinions on the matters which may be referred to him, or he is taking interest in knowing insights of the company, or on any new processes or any new things which are coming to his mind through the discussion in the board meetings? He is referring to the chief internal auditor for looking at the audits. So these are the important matters again, which can be part of our KPIs. Then the quality of questions which are coming in the audit committee, they can be either action focused or observation focused. So we need to have our own assessment whether the questions of the audit committee are directed towards the management to know the actions coming out of the audit observations, or the observations itself are getting discussed. So if the observations itself are getting discussed in more length, then probably we are lacking on some clarity or some detailing, or other matters where the observation itself need to be discussed. So our KPI should be that the action needs to be discussed and the observation is crystal clear. So we can assess ourselves after the each audit committee about how the discussion went on, and to whom the questions were largely directed. So these are the KPIs which came to my mind as an audit committee perspective. Then the next thing is the executive management perspective, the KPIs which the internal auditor can track for himself. So whether the internal audit report is on the top priority for CEO to read. This is one which keeps hinting me at every time I submit a report, that will this report be the first one out of all the papers lying on the CEO's table that he reads. So does he think that once that report is there, let me leave aside everything and let me go through the executive summary of this report, because this will be such an important document that I need to first read it before I read anything else. So this is the question which we need to ask before submitting every report, that is this the report such that CEO will leave aside everything and read the report. Another thing is how many times the CEO is interacting with us to take a look at our plan and suggest some modifications because some other activities are coming up, meaning he is finding a value in our work that he is immediately referring to the internal auditor to have it incorporated in the plan and maybe modify the existing plan, but take this area as a priority. So this is also one of the important aspect, that how many times we are being approached. The next one I can list down is the CIA is invited to present the findings in the executive committee meeting. So whenever the management committee meetings or the executive committee meetings are happening, generally they happen once in fortnight or a monthly basis as per the company's design. But whether the CIA is regularly invited to present the findings which have been happening in the intervening period, because they are important for the CEO and all the CXOs to know right then and there, and discuss them for the corrective actions at the highest, I can say, operating body of the company. And then it becomes easier for the executive management also to take few of the observations and get themselves prepared when it is getting presented in the audit committee. So whether the executive committee is giving the importance to the chief internal auditor's findings in their lot of busy agenda items of the company's operations, but still they are putting this as a point of agenda. Then the next point could be whatever discussions happens in these management meetings, whether the CIA is updated regularly without being asked about the key decisions taken in the management committee meetings, so that our work is aligned and we know the steps taken at the highest level, the initiatives taken at the highest level, the new activities, the new way of doing the activities, we are kept updated, which will help us in again incorporating the same into our audits. So whether the management is thinking that it is important that, or even the auditor should know the key decisions which are taken in the management committee meetings, and whether the executive committee members are following up with their reporting heads to see that the observations are regularly implemented and closed. So this is what I can say, that some proactive steps from management coming to CIA are need to be observed and tracked, that to assess ourselves that whether we are relevant and important from the executive management's perspective, whether we are people always in front of the management to kind of a helping hand in all these parameters. So these are the some KPIs I have listed down from the executive management perspectives, important for us to always remember in the back of our mind. Then I come to the next bucket, which is called as a value addition by internal auditor. So we can always track ourselves by going through our reports, whether the reports are bringing out the quantifiable business impacts, which are actually tracked for actual realization and money flowing in, and they are presented regularly to the management committee. Regularly meaning at least once in a year, presented to the management and audit committee, that these were the kind of revenue leakages or cost savings which have been identified, and after verification it has been actually resulted into the money inflow to the company, which is what I was saying, that the impactful observations could be. Then also some of the tracking, like out of the whole of the set of audit observations which are been issued or through the audit reports, what is the percentage of observations which are getting qualified for presented to the audit committee? See, when we are presenting to the audit committee, the observations need to be really important, impactful, and they are really kind of a concern to the topmost governing body. So we can't generally take all the observations which have been presented in the audit report, because generally the process followed by all the good companies is to have some classification of the audit observations between high, medium, or low, or critical, non-critical, any classifications. So what are those percentage of observations which are really impactful and taken to the audit committee? Are we having sufficient number of observations, or we are struggling for finding out the observations to taken to the audit committee? This is one question we can keep asking to ourselves. Whether CIA is consulted on new process developments and system designs. So always we remain ourselves outside the management decisions or the operating decisions, but we also have consulting role, and remaining independent, we can always play that role. So considering this, whether we are always consulted on any new initiatives like digitization initiatives or a big project getting implemented, where the controls need to be put in place or the departmental structures need to be prepared. All these cases, whether we are consulted. So whether the CII is the first person which comes to the mind of the management in times of such needs. So, whether his opinion is important to the management, whether my opinion is important to the management, that becomes a kind of a question to ourselves, which will put us ourselves into that assessment mode, whether I am a successful CIE or not, and whether CIE is considered as a trusted business partner. So this terminology I have borrowed from our ex-president Richard Chamber from II, who was the president of II. He has written a book also, that Trusted Business Advisor. So, what is that trusted business partner? Along with other things, like every company takes some initiatives which are not known to everybody at times before they really come to a reasonably good shape. But CII is consulted on even the confidential business matters, because the business believes that early involvement of a chief internal auditor will help them to remain achieve the objectives remaining within the compliance framework, and also the very, very hard confidence on CII that the matters will remain confidential till the time they are required to be confidential. So whether I am presenting myself of that caliber to the management, whether management believes in me to this extent. So this is what is one of the KPI which we can track for ourselves. Then I will come to the visibility function. So, for remaining successful, we need to be visible within the entire organization at all times. So how do we measure our visibility? Probably, so now some of the points which came to my mind is whether the executive committee has taken the efforts to map the internal audit findings with the internal controls. So all the companies have some or the other kind of internal controls, whether they are required by IFC or not required, but implemented by the company sui motu. So that because they are such an important findings to them, and they insist that through the internal controls, this should not be repeated against. So whether the management executive committee has taken their efforts to incorporate those findings into our controls, whether management is routing the identified fast trackers to the internal audit. So always there are the talented people within the organizations who are identified for a kind of a fast track move to take up the leadership role. So whether management is desiring them as a preparatory part to route them through internal audit, because the internal audit will always make him more knowledgeable on the controls and get the vast idea about all aspects of the business, because the internal audit touches all aspects of the business. So whether management is believes that that putting such fast trackers through the internal audit will make them more robust in their functions and be more effective. One of the criteria which we can always assess, and whether the internal audit team members are getting identified for taking up the roles in operations, because management believes that this team is quite prepared, very well thorough on the controls, also on the subject which they have audited, because we keep touching upon so many operational areas, and it's quite likely that management is desirous of taking the person who is already in the knowledge of the business and also thorough on the controls aspect will be a useful resource even in the operations. So whether our people are sought for taking up the roles in operations, which is also a very successful factor, because it is not that the person need to remain in audit for his entire life. Finally, if we are making the people as a good resource for the company, it is always a help to the company meeting their objectives. Then whether the internal audit methodology is followed by the operations team to complete the audits in time. So the internal audit methodology we put for betterment of everybody, and management and the operations are knowing the internal audit methodology. They are giving due respect to the internal audit methodology, and they are abiding themselves by the internal audit methodology. So this shows that they are serious towards the work which we are doing, and we are not facing the difficulties in completing the audits in time, saying that getting the responses, getting the right responses, getting the management persons responsible, or the realistic due dates. The quality of the response also matters a lot. So whether operational team itself, other than the executive committee, even the operational team itself is considering us as their partner for improvement and working closely with us. This is also we can assess when we are interacting with the operational management for executing the audits and closing the audits. And whether our visibility also depends on whether we are interacting with the various business people other than for audit. So for audit, of course, we will have a larger interaction, but whether our interaction restricted to that period of audit and then we are not meeting, or we are also consistently in talks to know what is happening, what is bothering them, are they consulting us for any issues. So these are the things which will keep us visible throughout the company and at all times. So these are the few pointers which on audit visibility I would like to discuss with you. Then next is IA effectiveness. So IA effectiveness talks about how effective we are. Of course, from the name itself we came, but here the parameters which came to my mind are a bit different. So, for remaining effective, we are always, depending on our IA methodology of robust planning, executions, and reportings and all. So one point of time is that if we are doing that, then what is the extent of whistleblower complaints on the areas where we have already provided an assurance? So I have seen in a few of the instances that we have issued the internal audit report, and the report doesn't talk about any irregularities or perceived irregularities, even as a red flags. But subsequently, we receive the complaints, and I have seen that the complaints have been substantiated after the investigation, which is actually a slap on our face. Because whenever the complaint comes, the first question which comes to anybody's mind is what internal audit was doing. Has internal audit done this? Have they verified? And then the whole series of questions comes, which is actually unwarranted and undesirable. So we should stay out of this. But how can we do this? So the whole cycle of right planning, right execution, right sampling, all these things will be incorporated into individual audits and at the annual audit plan, to see that the area which is under audit is being thoroughly reviewed to the extent required, and there are lesser and lesser chances of any whistleblower complaints coming out separately, but they are already identified into the internal audit report. This is one of the very important aspect which actually we should keep in mind, that what if complaint comes after this? How we are safeguarding ourselves against this particular risk in the audit function itself? So this is a important function. Then another thing is, what is the extent of management request? So management request here, I mean that the management keeps asking us to take up some or the other area, because again they are getting some whistleblowers into it, or they feel that this needs to be reviewed. So lesser and lesser management request is one of the success factors, because if we are planning robustly, if we are executing our audits thoroughly in required depth, then probably management is getting assurance holistically, and the requests will be minimum. So we should also always see to it that how many management requests have been landed up. The lesser is better, in my opinion. Then, of course, to function well, whether the CI is provided with the adequate budget to run the operations, to innovate, to implement some new tools which are helpful to in I can say quick functioning, or reducing the timelines, and to undertake the trainings and IT support. So whether we have been provided with the budget, or always the budgets are discussed about why and who and kind of things. So again, it revolves back on all the areas of our successful audits, like impacts, relevance, importance. So if we are impactful, relevant, important, then of course we will be provided with the budget, because management will see that if even if the budget has been provided, it will be certainly some value will be coming out of it. So that realization management needs to have, that confidence management needs to have. So again, it, as I mentioned, revolves on our work, which will have the end result in having not having too much discussions with the proposed budget and it's get approved, then has the CIA transparently followed QAIP? The word transparently is more important, so that we are deploying our own audits to the outsider to see that all the quality assurance standards are at any point of time they are met, and even we are subjected to the governance of a good audit system. So this implementation, whether we are doing it rigorously or we are doing as a matter of practice only, we ourselves can ask and ourselves can assess this. And lastly, what I can say is the CIA is doing the audit of audits done to identify what could have been done better. So, in any assignment, in any work or any part of our life, it is only us that who can assess that what have gone wrong, because ourselves we know what could have been done better. So this can be implemented in the each audit itself. After the audit or during the audit also, we keep noting what is going wrong, where we are lacking, where some time could have been trimmed, where some focus could have been given, the way the focus could have been given, or the areas of importance whether they are losing out. So all these things are important to record minutely and track, so that the audit of audits can be effective in I can say delivering the next assignments. So we don't identify our own mistakes, identify our own inefficiencies on a regular basis on a minute level, and then work on those to have a kind of a good audit done on a bit on an, I can say, ongoing and at all times basis. So these are some of my thoughts, and I will happy to take some questions from the audience.